Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Josh.
And I'm Zach.
And we have an episode for you today where we're going to roll out a ton of new colors in different products of heat transfer vinyl. So they actually hit live on the website on Friday, but we're going to show them for the first time on air and give you a peek at our favorites here today. Additionally, we'll be covering a state of the industry report, or a report from Hot Graphics, which is a supplement to Printwear magazine. And that'll kind of guide our conversation where we'll dive into some of the top markets as cited by decorators like you for heat printing. So that should be a really exciting part.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting information and kind of trends that we can glean from that report and talk through. And I'm really glad that Jenna scheduled us for the class that we get to, or the morning show where we get to release all of the new colors and show them to everybody for the first time.
I'm actually pretty surprised.
Yeah, it usually doesn't happen that way. She keeps the good ones for herself, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Make sure you shout out where you're watching from this morning. We have about 20 minutes to a half hour together and a lot of content to get through. So say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and we will stop several times throughout the presentation to take questions live on air. But first, as always, we like to go through some of the events that are coming up, and we have a lot for the end of February and March. So this particular Workshop Wednesday, which is our monthly class that we run, it's ramping back up coming out of winter, and we're starting to get into the spring months, and March has a couple nice topics at different locations.
Yeah, we have our vinyl cutter boot camp for both the Roland GS24 vinyl cutter as well as the Graphtec CE6000. Those happen to be the two cutters that most of our customers land on for professional cutting capabilities. So if you want to learn more or get better with using that particular machine if you own it, or even if you just want to check it out and see if it's the right machine for you, those classes would be a good fit. And then we're also covering Heat Transfer Vinyl 101 for beginners and 201. Main difference, 101 is going to be some typical everyday applications. 201 is going to be a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, and those are in our 7 different locations, as you can see there. So whether you're in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Texas, Florida, California, Arizona, or just want to take a flight or a long drive, you can join our educators. It is well worth the trip to get that one-on-one attention.
Almost everybody chiming in this morning is from California or Canada so far.
Sweet.
Which is great.
So good morning, California.
We're the first thing you're seeing this morning.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, some of the other upcoming trade shows, we don't have a graphic for these, but if you're in California, maybe you can make APA Las Vegas, which starts tomorrow and runs through the 15th. DAX Kansas City, late in February 22nd and 23rd, or ISS Atlantic City on March 21st to 23rd. So a few great trade shows there in different parts of the country. I know that folks that attend the DAX Kansas City show and the ISS Atlantic City show, those are always in the top 2 trade shows of the year, so both great events.
What's exciting about the Atlantic City show is if you can't make it to Long Beach, ISS Long Beach, where we typically launch a lot of the new products for the year, there's always those things that we wanted to get done for Long Beach that just didn't quite come to fruition, and that typically happens at Atlantic City. So if you can make it to Atlantic City, there's exciting stuff coming.
Yeah, we actually have a really big thing. That many reelays. I think that's the first time I've ever done that, just because I wanted the impact.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can roll it out at Atlantic City. But it'll definitely be coming here in the first half of the year. But we're holding on hope for Atlantic City, and I think you'll be excited about what this, what we're working on is going to do for your business if you're a heat printer.
That's all you get.
That's all you get for now. So let me read a little bit from, well, before we dive into the report, you want to roll out some colors?
Yeah, let's start with some colors. We talked up the colors. We have, what did we say, 16 to roll out?
Yeah. Wow. 16 colors across 3 different product lines.
Okay.
So one of the most popular materials has been anything with a metallic finish. Was really hot for us in 2018. Glitter continues to trend well, but metallics are catching up a little bit to glitter. So we're seeing a lot of growth in that. And one of our most durable metallic products that gets the most sales is our Fashion Film electric line. So if you're on the website, stahls.com, you go to Fashion Film and you start clicking in, you'll see a whole section of colors that are electric colors. That's where you can find these new colors. And you kind of want to roll through the 8 new that we have in Fashion Film electric.
And I'll have to reference my list because they're so new that I won't remember all the names. But we're starting with Electric Cranberry. So this is our Fashion Film Electric Cranberry. This, I think, is going to be an extraordinarily popular color just because it's been big in fashion for the last year and a half. So Electric Cranberry would be the first one.
Okay. I'll take the second one.
Second one is electric purple.
So electric purple is a real nice team purple color, actually. So if you have a customer that you're decorating in that typical purple shade, this is a nice way to get a metallic sheen onto that purple and potentially upsell it, sell it for a few bucks more, and it doesn't cost you that much more per yard. So electric purple should be a very popular color.
Yep. Next we have electric blue frost. I don't really know what to say about this one except that it's frosty.
It's frosty and it's blue.
It's frosty and it's blue. Have you ever seen the romantic comedy How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? Have you ever seen it?
If I did, I probably wouldn't admit it on air.
Oh, come on, man. That's my favorite romantic comedy movie. But anyway, the tagline in that movie from the diamond jeweler is to frost yourself. So get some blue frost and frost yourself.
All right, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Next is electric indigo.
All right. Electric indigo. I don't even know where to go right now other than indigo.
Oh!
All right, so kind of goes nice with Zach's choice of plaid today, not so much my choice of plaid.
Yeah.
But electric indigo is a nice darker bluish purple shade. I think this will stand out. And you're seeing a lot of these more fashion-forward colors that the market is demanding, and I think that's a testament to the sales opportunities that are out there with heat transfer vinyl. It's not always team. You can see a lot of more fashion pieces, colors that are geared a little bit more towards a boutique style or a children's wear style.
Okay. Our next color is electric teal. Electric teal.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about electric teal.
I like that color.
I do.
Teal's always sort of in the middle part of a color offering sales when we sell about 20 colors in a line.
Yep.
You see teal start to show up there. Some team colors have it, but it's a very nice shade that's trending. I was hoping I would get my favorite.
I knew. I thought you
Stack the deck.
stacked the deck for this one.
Yeah. So this is electric green. For those of you that don't know, green is my favorite color, and this matches perfectly to like a Boston Celtics Kelly green sort of shade. And believe it or not, my first car started as a white car. Unfortunately, I wrecked that car, and it eventually became this exact shade of Ford's electric green color that was on their Mustang. I repainted my car that when I was a teenager.
What year was that?
Oh, 2000 probably?
2000.
Yeah,
Youngin'.
2000.
Youngin'.
So electric green, couple more colors to get through.
All right, we have electric peach is our next color. Electric peach.
And
again, great for, it's more of a fashion tone that's happening right now in retail.
Yep. And then electric pearl.
Electric pearl.
Which is a white, great basic color. White always leads in sales. So try substituting a pearl for just a little bit of flair instead of a basic white to step up a garment, especially when you're decorating in that women's wear category.
Okay, so that's 8. That's half of the new colors that came out on Friday.
Yep, all electric colors. So if you want to chime in with your favorite, feel free to chime that in. Whether you're from Corpus Christi, Texas, or Australia, we'd love to hear your feedback. Folks watching from Iowa, San Diego, all parts of the world represented here today. So let's get into this hot graphics report because there's a lot of interesting information that comes out of it. The first bit of interesting information is that heat printing is taking over. And so let's look at some data from this survey. Yet the latest survey, we've seen this on every single state of the industry report from the different publications, is that heat printing is growing and growing. And we're seeing it on Google search trends as well. So 83% of the respondents that responded to this particular hot graphics survey indicated that heat printing is some portion of their business and that some portion of their revenue is directly related to heat transfers.
Which is significantly higher if you look at the right side of the screen. Heat printing accounts for, it is directly related to 83%. The next closest decorating technology is embroidery. After that, we see sublimation and screen printing. So those are what we typically refer to as the big four, and the fact of the matter is sublimation is a heat print technology as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things, and they led into it when they wrote up in the hot graphics on this report, there was a paragraph here that hits on maybe why heat printing is growing. There's a lot of reasons, but one particular thing that was noted here was relatively low learning curve and high potential for customization, low quantity orders, and quick turnaround as being some of the big things with heat printing. And then they follow that up by saying time and time again it proves to be an equally popular method compared to the other methods for profitability as well. So that's a magic recipe for growth. Low expense to get into. Really, if you're hiring folks to run heat presses, sometimes there's challenges with getting and retaining skilled labor. With heat printing, it's a pretty easy to train exercise, and it's profitable. So those are all great reasons for why heat printing is growing.
And there are plenty more that we're seeing as we dig deeper into the promotional product space. We know that heat printing is providing options for folks that embroidery and screen printing just can't provide, from unique placements and difficult to apply items on those larger type machines.
Yeah, and so the next logical question, most of you are probably already into heat printing, but you may ask the question, what methods of heat printing are most popular by folks that responded to the survey? And two different pieces of information, the top piece and the lower piece. Let's start on the top one.
Okay.
And you see that print/cut graphics, which encompasses anything that comes off of like a roll and VersaCam that's print and cut, or even your single color vinyl cut stuff like on the fashion film electric material we just showed you, and twill being the most popular method by far for people that are heat printing.
Yes, then shortly after that we're seeing sublimation, and then also screen printed transfers, where taking a look at these numbers, we would probably say that 68% of the people are using, I think this is my personal opinion, 68% of the people are utilizing vinyl transfers, 39% of the people are using the screen print type transfer, but the volume of actual units that are going out the door are probably more in that screen print transfer category.
Yeah, that would be correct. This is how many times that particular method was cited by the respondent. And what's interesting is if you look down at the bottom chart, you see from a profitability standpoint, at least with this group, screen printed jumped up a notch in its ranking as what's most profitable. And so print cut makes sense as one of the most profitable because you're doing that in-house. Typically, when you can bring things in-house, assuming you're calculating your labor costs and your overhead, even then, typically when you bring things in-house, it makes it a little bit more profitable for the business if you can do it well. So those are some of the things. And so really some of the meat of the content we wanted to get into today is what markets are these respondents identifying as some of the top markets for any of those heat printing technologies. And so let's step through those.
All right, so first we have 62% of the folks are using heat transfers for local business, which makes a lot of sense based on what we said at the top of the study, what heat transfer is good for. It's good for customization, it's good for low quantities. What are some types of local businesses that you think these respondents are selling into?
So I think one of the top ones, at least that comes to mind, is restaurants. I mean, you go to any town, whether that's a bar, a restaurant, a coffee shop, anything that's in the food service industry, even catering companies, there's usually a good opportunity. And the reason why is those sorts of companies typically have a couple dozen employees at most. And we know that screen printers typically aren't going to bother with those low quantity runs. So it's a perfect space for a heat printer to specialize and grow their business. And those tend to be good buyers because they can not only buy staff shirts for their employees, but they can buy shirts for special events or promotions or things like that. So you have to think beyond just the staff shirt when you're looking at those markets.
Yeah, and if a business like that is doing it right locally and really building their tribe of people who love the local business, because that's where local businesses thrive, obviously, they also have the opportunity to sell decorated apparel to their customers.
Yeah, and I have a whole list here of different local businesses and why that may have come in number one. But for those watching, if you have a local business type that you find particularly beneficial or that you've been trying to call on, please jot that in for your fellow viewers so they can know kind of where to start, and maybe you each will share a local business that you haven't called on. So on my list, outside of restaurants, I have resorts being another big one. So whether that's your classic resort or bed and breakfast or even a small local hotel or motel chain, there's typically opportunities there. I have dentists and doctors being a good one. I told the story many years ago about how the local orthodontist gave a t-shirt to every kid that got fitted with braces, which was a perfect opportunity for screen printed transfers. So he didn't get stuck at the end of the year with all of the leftover shirts in different sizes. And so he was actually able to order that shirt based on the kid in their appointment to have it sitting there at the end of their appointment. So it was just that constant work flowing through for everybody he fit with braces throughout
that's a great idea.
Retail, insurance agents, realtors, financial, There's a lot of different opportunities in the local business category. So,
one that you've always sold to is dance schools as well.
yeah, dance schools is another possibility. There's all types of areas. So I'll say yellow pages just for sake of effect. But you know, in the old days, you used to flip open the yellow pages and used to go down through and see all the local businesses. Now it probably looks like a Google map search, looking up your restaurants or different industries. But it's a great way to build a client list and go out. So for somebody wanting to go out and sell to a local business, what would you recommend they go in hand with?
That's a good question. I would recommend, and I think that we have a lot of customers who have proved that this works, but the more simple we can make our presentation with a package, the better. So an example of this worked for another local business that we sold into. This was what they were able to realize, whether it's, you know, customer loyalty, brand loyalty, whether it's keeping their employees or making a profit if they're reselling the shirts that you're selling to them. A case study and a package of what works. Like, here's your good option, t-shirt, screen print transfer, which they don't have to know that it's a screen print transfer, just a decorated t-shirt.
Sure.
Or here's your polo shirt, or here's your bag, t-shirt, and polo shirt all together. But packages that make it easy for them to say yes.
Yeah, and having a price that includes the decoration and the garment, trying to take all the complexity out of it, like not calling it the decoration method that it is, just presenting it and saying, here's what we can do for you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's take a look at that second market. So 61% cited athletic associations, clubs, and teams. This is not surprising at all because the team business is alive and well. Team participation, even though kids like to play more video games, actual participation, especially what's measured at the high school level, increases year on year and has so, I think, for the past 30 years or something ridiculous, where participation level, kids that are participating in a organized sport at the high school level have increased. And so you add that to the club level, the elementary level, all the opportunities. There is a huge opportunity for heat transfer in teams. And so from a decoration method with heat transfer, what are some of the ones that you think are most effective for teams?
For teams, for on the field, we usually see folks decorating with screen print transfer numbers, or if you're looking for further personalization, that's where vinyl really fits. And that's where our customer base has really built their business historically over the past few decades, is in heat transfer vinyl personalization for on the field names and numbers.
Okay, excellent. And that brings us to a good point in that team segment. I have brought a sample here just to kind of tie us in to make sure I didn't forget to do the new colors. Thermofilm is one of our top selling products. We sell it all the time for athletic jersey, name and number, where you can cut this on your vinyl cutter to customize for teams. And we're adding a couple new colors, so we've started to add a lot more new colors to Thermofilm, which was kind of a line that was locked in for a while. I think earlier at the beginning of 2018, we added Vegas gold, metallic silver, and charcoal. And now we are bringing, if I can get it out of the box here, your favorite superhero colors to Thermofilm. You want to show that one?
Sure. So this first one is Hero Blue. As you can see, it's a really bright royal that is reminiscent of your favorite superhero costumes, namely Superman, Spider-Man, Captain America.
And then you're also seeing Hero Red, which is a bright red. So if you compare this to the existing colors in the Thermofilm line, these are have a lot more punch, a lot more brightness to them. So I think that you and your customers will like having these choices within Thermofilm. We're pretty excited about those. So this would be 2 of the additional colors, and we still have 6 left to cover in the color offering. So team market's a big one. Nobody wants cheap t-shirts at low prices, so thank you for your comment, though. Hopefully that one's getting pushed off of there. And we appreciate you watching the morning show as well. All right, so let's go into our next market.
Clubs.
Clubs, yeah, and so this is an overlooked one. Typically, I'm actually surprised that 58% are citing that clubs is one of their top 5 segments, because when you think of clubs, what do you think of?
Chess club.
Chess club, yeah. Drama club.
Drama club.
Band. You think of kind of the arts, and there's a lot of opportunities within those same schools often that you're selling into for the athletics, and that's the art side of the business. So I know we have customers that base their entire business off of just selling to bands. So it's all about specializing and going from that angle. Because when you can become relevant to that customer, especially when they're an underserved customer by most decorators, then you really have an angle and a niche and a way to be very profitable.
What clubs were you in high school?
I don't know if I was in any clubs. I was in a youth group. So churches is another angle that you can go into, like as an extension of clubs. I played a lot of chess, but wasn't in the chess club.
Yeah.
Mainly just decided I was going to play basketball and I was going to play in the NBA. And you see how that worked out for me?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So diversify. Do a lot of things, kids. All right. Let's see. There's some questions coming through here. So let's take a look at some of those. Right now, it'd be nice to have an end user video to share on our Facebook page that includes all of the new colors, techniques. Jen, good feedback. So we'll share that with our marketing team, see if that's something we can make happen so you can share on your page. Also, digital color file for the vinyl colors to the website. We do have the color swatches that are available on the product page where you can actually see the colors. As far as adding them to your website, I will check, because I know for some of our CAD-CUT resellers that resell the vinyl material from us in their local community, we make those available so they can download. So I'll have to see if we can do that for an everyday decorator as well. And hey guys, are y'all brothers? Yeah, good guess. We're not twins, but we are brothers. So good. The real question is, which one's older? We always ask that.
Don't ask, don't answer.
So, all right. Let's go to the next market. We got a couple more, and I want to make sure we get to wrap up with our final color release. Educational institutions.
You kind of already covered this one. So most people go to the athletic team. Like you said, we do have some customers who are focusing on the clubs, but the educational institution itself can benefit. Some educational institutions don't separate their athletics and their clubs from the school buying themselves. And you can also think higher education as well, going into the college bookstore market. If you have a local community college that needs help there, that's a place to start looking.
Yeah, and I think that one tip is, if you're selling to these organizations, typically they're underfunded in most cases. And so being able to drive some benefit to them for selling the items, particularly with fanware and fundraisers at the elementary school level, the middle school, even the high school level, tends to work extremely well. So if there's any way you can be creative in your approach and structure it into a fundraising sale, it gives you a great opportunity to be able, for you to group orders, for you to produce them all at once and get those benefits of maybe using a screen printed transfer instead of cutting and weeding everything. And it also gives the organization a benefit of maybe making $1 or a percentage or something for every garment that's sold.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
All right, and rounding out our 5 markets, our last market that was identified is
corporate.
Corporate, and I like the gifts as well here. I think that's a big piece of it. So whether this is if you have a program in place where somebody's onboarding sorry, I got thrown off.
Read the comment.
I just completely lost it, Sheriff. Thank you. But when you're onboarding a new employee, sometimes it's nice to have a set of apparel there when that employee starts sitting at their desk of this is the logoed item, and you can produce heat printing in a one-off, or even like gifts. So if you're doing a Christmas gift, something, apparel is always a good item, a promotional product that's memorable. Maybe there's a 25th anniversary, something like that. There's tons of opportunities on the corporate side of it for giveaways both to the employee and to the client that can work really well.
Yeah, and while that only represented 36% of the folks who responded, corporate, at least in our recent experience, is probably the fastest growing category where heat transfer is being adopted.
Okay. I can neither admit nor deny that I am the youngest or the oldest. I'll leave that to Zach as I head over to the heat press to roll out 6 new colors.
Wow. I'm the oldest. I won't keep anybody in suspense. I'm the oldest by 2 years, actually.
All right, so we're over here at the heat press. I have a heat press loaded for speed, and we're going to show you these 6 new colors of Glitter Flake, which is one of our most popular materials that everybody always wants new colors in. So we wanted to add some excitement by doing them one at a time and teaching you a little bit about Glitter Flake and how to heat apply it. So this press has been sitting here, so I always recommend to preheat to remove the moisture and wrinkles and warm your base surface for application. And then we're going to lay down the first color, and I'm going to ask Zach, once we get a close look at it, for you to call it out.
Okay. First color that Josh is laying down in our new glitter flake colors is pale yellow, which is going to be the top color in the design, so make sure you've got your placement good going to the left of the shirt.
I guessed. So one of the benefits of glitter flake, nobody's going to wear this shirt, I don't think.
It's okay.
One of the benefits of glitter flake is you can do what's called a fast tack, even on these new colors, all the colors. So if you're doing a multicolor design like I'm doing here, you can tack the base layer down for a couple seconds and hot peel it. So this is pale yellow. A lot of people are very excited, and we'll give you a close-up of all these colors at the end. Next color down.
Next color down is rainbow coral. And for those of you who follow the news of what Pantone's color of the year is, this year it is a coral color. So this one is happening in the fashion space.
Good. And when you're doing even 3 colors, I'm just going to tack the second one down, peel it again, and by placing the first color first, it gives me something very nice to be able to drop everything against. Next color down.
Got you. Next color down is medium pink.
Glitter.
I feel like the shirt design has a very, once it's all said and done, it has a very 70s retro vibe.
Couple seconds, hot peel. Medium pink, a lot of customers are liking this that have seen it already, and the reason why is, if you're not familiar with our light pink, it has like a translucent effect, where it doesn't work extremely well in dark colors. It's kind of like shows the dark color through and changes it. So this medium pink, as you can see, we've applied it to this dark gray shirt, and I'll give you a close-up here shortly, but it has great opacity.
All right, our fourth color is rainbow plum. Rainbow plum.
So anything you see with the word rainbow in it, these are cool names, has the rainbow sparkle flake added to it. So a lot of times you'll just have the standard glitter flake, which is sparkly on its own, but when we add the rainbow effect to it, it gives it a nice pop.
Okay, the fifth color is vintage gold. Now, how does this differ from the golds that we already have in the line?
It's much lighter.
Okay.
So the yellow gold is definitely like you think of a 14 karat gold, yellowish gold, whereas the standard gold, I would say, is more of a Vegas gold, and this vintage gold is an extremely light gold.
Okay. And the sixth and final color, which I assume you're going to give the full application to, is beach blue. So we tacked all 5 of those first colors, and now that this is our sixth and final color being applied to the shirt, we're going to give it the full application time.
Yep, 10 to 12 seconds with glitter flake. The also nice thing, in case you missed it on glitter flake, is for polyester-based fabrics, if they're heat sensitive, you can now apply it as low as 290 degrees, which is a nice benefit to decorate performance fabrics with it.
We have a comment actually on being able to line up when layering vinyl. Marlena says that no matter what, she sucks at layering vinyl. Never lines up because of shrinkage, even with the 2-second tack. Any suggestions for her?
Oh, that's a good question. What are you applying to, Marlena, would be my first question. And I'm going to come in close for a look here because it's really tough, I know, to see the colors at that distance. So while we're getting that answer, we have go through the colors again, Zach. I can't remember all the names.
Sure. So the first color, the top color, was pale yellow. The second color was rainbow coral. The third color is medium pink. The fourth color is rainbow plum. The fifth color is vintage gold. And the sixth color is beach blue.
So lots of cool new colors for you to try out. Those are readily available on the website, and let's stick around and try to get these questions.
Yeah, Marlena, typically t-shirts, sometimes poly jerseys for layering.
Okay, so poly jerseys. So usually if you have, the only thing I can think of is maybe that garment stretching or flexing when you peel it. Sometimes that becomes a problem. So whenever I'm layering and I'm using a material that wants to grip to the fabric and maybe stretch that out, I kind of follow it with my hand as I'm peeling. I still peel at the 45-degree angle, but as I'm peeling, I'm just trying to keep my shirt flat going across as I'm peeling. The only other thing is I would just double check to make sure your heat press isn't reading way too hot. So if you think you have it at 300, but yet maybe it's at 350 or 360, typically more heat can cause it to shrink and cause issues, but products like Fashion Film and Glitter Flake should be very easy to layer with that 1 or 2 second quick tack, and the carrier usually just falls away on those types of applications. So if you're still having issues after those tips, reach out to us directly and we'll try to hop on the phone or FaceTime or something and help you out.
Yes. Can you layer glitter?
So if you were to wear this, can you layer glitter? So you notice on this design, all the glitter is coming in contact with the garment. So we're never putting glitter directly on top of glitter. There's always a knockout or an effect there that allows the glitter to make contact with the garment. Now, I can put glitter flake on top of a basic film like a fashion film, something like that, but I can't put anything on top of glitter flake because of the textured particle. It would not launder well at all. Okay. And then the last question is, do we have heat transfer appliques like this picture? So whether or not you buy the roll, we can cut it for you. You can peel it away from the carrier and use it for the rip away applique technique if you're doing embroidery. So there's a lot of different ways you can put this glitter to use in your business. Lots of opportunities for that. All right, we just eclipsed the 30-minute mark.
Okay.
And I know we're supposed to end at like 20. So it's probably time we conclude. We'll stick around. We will read your feedback, things like a lighter navy and thermofilm, all of your feedback, and we will try to follow that through. And then we'll see you back here in a couple weeks on the next Stahls TV Morning Show.